Thank you, ma'am, and thank the entire team at DPW for this a very significant process that you guys have made. I just have two quick questions. One, just because I know, because you just said it, everyone's going to ask if older adults and other folks still want to get a paper bill, they'll still be able to do that, correct?
Correct, yes.
Right,
they would sign up for, if you want paperless billing, you sign up.
Just get that out the way before anyone says it. I know the council president had the same thought in his head. Second question, if we can bring the presentation back up. Sorry about that. And to the last, that one, yes. Can you walk us through the time frame that you guys were able to achieve these things, like the call response time going from 20 minutes to 2, the average days of going from 25 to 5 on closing cases, 73 to 20 days. What time frame did this, when I think is excellent work, was that achieved in?
We started this, Director Mitchell came on in May of 2021, and we started putting eyes on it. But in August of 2021 is when we started putting things in place. So I would say from August until now is when the whole process kind of took place.
And Director, I know you're on the board, but can you walk us through what kind of things you put in place to actually have this happen?
Yes, thank you, Mayor Scott. I'm going to try to give the quick version, not the long version, but the first thing we did with our water system and was most critical is just begin to run reports and look at the data. And what we found out when we started the reports, you see in the first column there under elimination, we saw we had 14,000 emails, and they were outstanding for quite some time. We wanted to drive that email down to around 800, and we wanted to be able to resolve email complaints within 3 business days. So we pretty much put a team together, and their sole job was, number one, to verify that we were able to close out those emails and really push it down. And so it was the data that showed us that we had 14,000 emails, 10,000 property investigations. When I walked in, we knew about the 6,300 work orders that was remaining with the county, and we had 4,600 cases. So what you've heard, and what you probably have heard through some of your constituents, was it's taking too long to get answers. We wanted to resolve that very quickly, and we want to provide excellent customer service. So we started looking at the data at 9 o'clock to 10 o'clock every single morning, Monday through Friday, for the last 16 months. And it's something that we do today. I actually missed a meeting because I'm here at the Board of Estimates. The other piece was we wanted to drive through solutions. Where do we want to be? So right now we're at 2 minutes and 30 seconds in answering the phone. Our goal by 3 months is to get it under a minute. We want to drive that. So what have we done? Well, LaToya, as our Chief Curtis, have hired 4 staff. They're able to now pick up 150 new phone calls per day, which drive down our hold time. So it was critical that we looked at our staffing and we begin to maneuver our staffing based upon their knowledge, but also based upon the need. And so we adjusted our entire staffing team. Our third critical element was to move our meter shop from walking with 3 pieces of paper and closing out work orders. And I think in the last 6 months, we moved to what we call a paperless project. Our process are all of our meter techs. They do not go out in the field any longer with paper. They do everything via a tablet, and they take pictures of everything. So number one, that we can record the event and our maintenance efforts that we did in the field. But number two, so that we can record the process in real time and that we can solve our customers' complaints quicker, because that data is going real time into our billing system. But I think the last and most critical piece is that we can resolve it faster, which helps our revenue. The longer a meter is down, the more revenue we lose, potentially the higher the rates. We wanted to drive down the rates, so we had to drive down the time that our meter techs took to fix the meter. But in addition to that, I think the critical piece is now moving into the 24th century, being one of the leaders, 21st century being a leader in this water space. So what you see in the last column, and I think Chief Curtis takes a lot of the credit for this, is we adjusted our billing process, our adjustment process. What we heard from our residents, especially day one, is I had a leak and the city hasn't adjusted it. So we adjusted our leak program to give, number one, our clients more time to fix that leak, but two, so that when they do fix it, their leak goes back down to the average bill that they would have prior to a leak, so that they wouldn't have $500-600 bills. That's not sustainable, so that we can get that bill back, but also get that leak fixed. So that was really, really critical. The implementation of JIT-BIT, staffing training, our staff is going through numerous training for the last year. I think our average training for our staff is about 50 hours of staff training so that they can pick up the phone and do things better. But I think that one of the most prevalent things that we do is we understand that water is expensive. And I think, Mayor Scott, this is one of the things that you actually put in my offer letter, is that I want water for all rolled out, and I want it rolled out as fast as possible. And I think one of the things that that the team did was roll out that affordability program that you charged us with, Mayor. But more importantly, now we're almost seeing $1.5 million in water for all discounts in just a short time that has been active. And I think that's one of the key accomplishments for the team, not just responsive, but being able to meet the needs of our customers was number one. Our key goal, and you know this, Mayor, when we say 1, 2, 3, we say best in class. And our best in class is providing better and more efficient customer service. And that's been it. Our staff is now looking at it from a customer standpoint and not just from a staffing standpoint. And that's when our ship began to sail. And again, many of these changes was done in about a year. So it was a tremendous effort in being able to turn that around, Mayor Scott.
Thank you, Mrs. Director. Thank you very much.